When I was asked to preside this Holy Mass today, my first reaction was, wow, it coincides with the death anniversary of my dear Lola Felisa, 20 years ago. Ayos, di ba? But if you notice, today is supposed to be the beginning of our lockout as first announced. Out na sana tayo sa ECQ. Kung nasa labas tayo ngayon, ano kaya ang mga ginagawa natin? Perhaps excitement dominates our feeling. Focus is compromised. Nakalimot sa sarili. We are out to be entertained again by what we used to do, like busybodies. But it is not the case. We are still locked in. I believe we are given another rare opportunity to look deep into ourselves and ponder the significance of Christ's resurrection. Let us notice three movements in St. Matthew's resurrection account. Notice, my dear brothers and sisters, the word resurrection. It has 3 R's. Removing the stone, running into Jesus, and rising to the occasion. First, the women who had come to the tomb early on Sunday morning to embalm perhaps the dead body of Jesus were amazed to find the stone rolled away from the entrance and the empty tomb. Their reactions are a mixture of anxiety and joy. They are anxious that the body may have been stolen, but there is also an expectant joy. Could it be that he is alive? You know, my dear brothers and sisters, I am just wondering what happened to the individual stones meant to put to death that woman caught in adultery. Many are the stones which weigh heavily on our world today. Stones which hinder our relationship with Christ. Stones which impede our following of Jesus. Stones which are like walls that separate us from the risen Lord and from one another. These are stones which are difficult to roll away or to remove. Often we feel powerless and helpless before these stones. And sometimes the temptation is to use violent means to get rid of them. But I am convinced that the resurrection of Jesus gives us the strength to remove these stones from our lives and from our world. The risen Lord is the only real force that can roll away these stones. It is the power of the Holy Spirit working in us and through us. If only we would believe like Peter and the other disciples, as well as Mary Magdalene and the other women, then we would see the stone rolled away from the entrance to the tomb, and what is beyond the empty tomb. Second, while still wondering what could have happened at the tomb, these women ran into Jesus, who gives them the Easter greeting of peace, shalom. As Mary Magdalene clings to Jesus' feet because perhaps she does not want to lose him again, she is told not to be afraid. Fear not. An admonition that we will be hearing frequently during these days, but to run to the disciples to tell them to proceed to Galilee where they will see Jesus. Notice, my dear brothers and sisters, again, the Holy Spirit of peace rolls away their fear. Meron akong acronym ng fear. Face everything and rise. Yan ang style ni Mary Magdalene and the other women. They face everything and they rise. Whereas si Peter, iba ang kanyang fear. Face everything and run. Obviously, these women are having optimistic thoughts. No wonder they run eagerly to the disciples to tell the good news. Jesus is risen. He is alive. Third, rising to the occasion, Mary Magdalene and the other women take the challenge. Pinaunlakan nila ang hamon ni Jesus sa kanila to instruct the disciples that they will see Him in Galilee, their own place, and that is where we will expect to see Him too. Instruction entails responsibility, not mere telling. Galilee is their home ground, the place where they were born, grew up, and work. Return to our respective Galilee. That's where the risen Jesus is to be found. I believe the risen Lord is saying the same thing to us today. We do not have to go to Jerusalem or Rome or Lourdes or Fatima or Quiapo or Baclaran to find the risen Lord. If we cannot find Him in the place where we live and work, we won't find Him in those other places either. Sa ngayon, matatagpuan kaya siya sa mga hospital, tahanan, at pinagtatrabahuan natin? Buhay si Jesus, kasama at kasalamuhan natin. Kaya, my dear brothers and sisters, as we stay inside to be alive, may we also rise to the occasion in making this enhanced community quarantine into an enhanced community solidarity. That is, becoming more reflective and responsive. Reflective. Naway, mapagnilayan natin ang tungkol sa mga pangyayari sa buhay ngayon, lalo na ang salot na dulot ng coronavirus. Maging solitary and silent, ngunit pensive tayo. Responsive. Sana maging mas spontaneous and sincere, ngunit proactive tayo sa ating pagtugon sa mga nangangailangan ng tulong na kaya ng anumang tulong galing sa atin. As Henry Nouwen puts it, without prayer, word loses its meaning. Action becomes empty gesture. Unquote. Sana po, the power of the risen Lord will make us more willing and ready to proclaim the good news of how we have overcome the crisis and what we have become. In his drama, The Trial of Jesus, John Edward Masefield, an English poet and novelist, has the centurion Longinus report to Pilate about Jesus' resurrection. Longinus was the Roman officer in charge of Jesus' execution. After making the report, Procula, Pilate's wife, asked him the question, "Do you think Jesus is dead?" Longinus answers, "No, lady, I don't think he is dead." Procula questions him again, "Then, where is he?" Longinus emphatically replies, "Let loose in the world, lady, where neither Roman nor Jew can stop his truth." My dear brothers and sisters, the resurrection is difficult to probe. But one of the most convincing proofs of Christ's resurrection is the transformation that took place in Jesus' followers, who were once pathetic and coward. Off they went with burning urgency to tell the news to the entire world. Their respective lives changed the course of our human history. And no amount of persecution could stop them. No reasonable explanation has ever been given to account for these transformed lives, except their own. They had seen Jesus alive. Let me end with this thought from St. John of the Cross. Sabi po niya, "The endurance of darkness is the preparation for great light." My dear brothers and sisters, together with the risen Lord and Mama Mary, we will brave this pandemic and emerge victorious.